There is a 1 month. I don't feel comfortable waiting 1 month. I'll take the same policy. I'll go to the bank. I want a loan. What's your collateral? The insurance policy. It has a fund. That fund has a value. Give me 70% out of that value. Take your policy as a collateral. I will default. You go and liquidate the policy. Thank you very much. Right? Or I can, if I have an insider in the insurance, enemy within, I'll submit false claims. That's fraud and money laundering. Yeah. I made it for my father. My father never came. My father is already deceased. Then after that, I'll get the certificate, forged one, that he died. Then I need to get the claim. And that guy in the insurance company who is helping me, he will get a percentage. Right? So lots of things happen. Like, for example, what's happening in banks. They go look for all these funds that nobody's claiming them. They will load it in cards, and you will find cards even issued without names. And they will come here, look for machines, especially 6-digit ones, and they will swipe the cards, and they give the percentage to the banker because he's the one who loaded the card, right? And that's it. The machine provider will take, let's say, 30, 40, 50%. Sometimes even they take 55%. They are fine with that. So you give me half of what is in the card, because anyway, you are paying out of somebody else's pocket. It's not your money. It's a stolen money. So I don't mind giving you 50%, right? So you take 50%, I take 50%, everybody's happy.
Then you get one.
Yeah, they can load every day. Every day they load. So that's it. I'll come to you with my passport and so on. Okay, loaded cards, mainly from Russia, Ukraine, China, all these wonderful countries. And they load money, and you'll find millions. They will tell you, I want to make a 10 million today, 20 million tomorrow, 50 million tomorrow. And there are providers here, even in UAE, they're doing that. So again, callbacks, no callbacks. Okay, if it's a powerful person, do callback as much as you can. What you will do, you know. Just some examples. So I'm showing you how money laundering is a piece of cake. So, and unfortunately, we are looking for that poor guy who's coming to the counter having maybe 5,000 dirhams and he wants to deposit it, and where is the source of funds? There are people laundering millions and billions easily, just like this. And you go to the bank and tell them, what do you think about this customer? They will tell you, this is my VIP customer. And he's also the VIP criminal as well. This is how it is. Always the law is like the big thief when he steals, nobody looks at him. But the small thief who steals, maybe he's stealing to eat, to feed himself, he will end up behind bars. This is always the rule. And that's very sad, unfortunately. Like, you know, I see cases like a small kid or somebody who stole a loaf of bread to eat. If he got caught, he will go behind bars. But the one who's stealing millions with banks and running away, nobody catches him. You know, this is unfortunately the situation. So, early redemption, submission of false claims. These are examples. And the vulnerabilities here, if I want even to do more damage, I will use the agents. And agents, to be honest, out of experience, they're very lousy. No controls whatsoever. If the insurance company have agents, these agents mainly want to sell. They don't care about IDs. They don't care about verification. They don't care about anything. Sell, sell, sell to get as much as he can in commissions. So if I know even the insurance company has some controls, I will route it through that agent. The agent will do whatever it takes just to sell. So again, same like here, for example, also in banks, which I pinpointed as a weakness, that they outsource the KYC to all those companies in Bank Street. These people, they have no idea, no clue about the product. They have no clue about KYC. They have no clue about anything. To the extent that when I was a head of compliance with Samba here in Dubai, one lady came to me and she's trying to send me a credit card. She doesn't know that I'm the head of compliance. So I acted normally. I said, okay, what are you going to send me? She said, sir, this is a wonderful credit card. We have 2 credit cards. I said, what is the difference between them? She said, this is green and this is blue. I said, is it colors or? No, they say that this is Islamic and this is conventional. I said, so which one is better? First of all, I asked her, where did you get my name? And she said, no, I got it. I said, from where? Did you check? Maybe I have this card. Oh, sir, do you have? I said, you are asking me? You should do this exercise. Before targeting a customer and offering him a credit card, you should at least see if he has a credit card or no. So I said, okay, fine, forget it. I mean, which one is better? Okay, now you are selling me those 2. Which one should I go for? Sir, you know, if you are so much into Islamic, you can take this one. But you know what? Forget about this one. Everybody is buying this. That's it. So I said, okay, how do you proceed? Sir, you need to sign here. I said, and that's it. You give me a copy of your passport, and that's it, or the Emirates ID, and that's it. Annual card will come to you. I said, okay, how about the application? Who will fill it? No, sir, I will fill it. I said, okay, how will you know the information? She said, from the passport. I said, but the passport or the Emirates ID doesn't have all the information. Where you get the information about my income, about everything? So I, of course, and she came to the wrong guy. I'm the head of compliance. Then after I finished all that, I told her, I got my wallet. I said, this is the card. Oh, sir, you have it? I said, not only this, I'm the head of compliance of Samba. Of course, she was going to faint. But look at how things are. You know, she got a number. She doesn't know this, even this person. She didn't even do a back.
Even Samba, they came to our offices selling cards.
Yeah. So can you imagine what kind of due diligence she's doing, how she knows about KYC? She doesn't even know whom she's dealing with. And just she's selling cards. She doesn't even know the product. I told her, do you know what is the difference between the Islamic card and the conventional card? She doesn't know. I said, how you're selling a product which you don't even able to explain to the customer? It's a shame. Selling something that you don't know about it. What is this? Oh, this is green, this is blue. I said, green means Islamic. What is the benefits? Is there an interest? Is there a late charge? All these technicalities, she's blank.
Yeah,
They don't know anything. They just go there and they want to sell as much as they can. I spent lots of time training these people, but unfortunately every day you get a new team because they operate with all banks. So I said I cannot train the whole Dubai. At least dedicated. They said, no, you cannot dedicate your team because they operate with any bank. So whoever is available will take the application and run. So it's an impossible thing.
For them, just they have a target to reach.
Exactly. So what did I do as a controller? I said, okay, the card will not be issued until the customer comes to the bank and he signs. So at least I will come, I will see the ID, because I cannot trust these people. They may not see the ID even. If I give the ID copy, that's it, more than enough. She will say that I saw the ID. Will she care? She will not care. She wants her target, her commission. Exactly. You never know. You know. Then what do I do is that we cannot send you the card. You have to come to the branch the first time only to receive the card. This way, I will verify the ID. So at least I saw the customer. I saw the ID. I have my bank employee sign and stamp that original scene and verified. At least that control I had, because these people you cannot trust.
But Sam, here's the thing. When we talk about these DSAs, these direct sale agents,
Yeah.
they are responsible to achieve a certain target, and they're under immense amount of pressure.
Yeah.
Having said that, there should be a sort of mechanism in place to be able to do a proper due diligence. So,
Yeah.
okay, I come to you as a DSA, I take your details, fill out a form, and do whatever it takes
Yeah.
to take the application. In the process of running that application through the system and just processing that application, there should be a strong KYC mechanism.
There should be.
Because see, ultimately a DSA is only responsible to take an application. If it gets converted into a meaningful sale, then
Yeah.
obviously he gets
The commission.
the commission for it. But if it's not, then okay, it's his loss. But you can't really expect a DSA to be, doing that due diligence.
That's right. True.
Yeah.
True.
So it's not the DSA's fault. I would say it's the KYC process of financial institutions.
That's right.
That
True.
have to be more robust.
Totally agree with you. And that's why I strongly recommend, if we are to fix this DSA problem, I would recommend that central bank should be regulating these DSAs, like what UK is doing. Yeah, exactly. Like UK model. In UK model, you can outsource your KYC to a FCA regulated firms. You cannot outsource it to anybody. The FCA has to be regulating these firms. And still the responsibility lies with the financial institution, even though you are outsourcing it to a regulated FCA firm, because you can outsource the task, but you cannot outsource the responsibility. So you're still responsible, but at least the person or the entity that's doing this process is regulated. So they are also questionable to the FCA. But the financial institution cannot say, well, because they are regulated by the FCA, will not do our job. You're still responsible. So if they did a mistake, FCA will come to you still. They will come to them for something else, for their issue. But that does not relieve you as a financial institution from your responsibility. So that way, the mechanism is robust. But here, I don't know where they pick these people, and they just want to sell as much as they can. They don't care about anything. And the process itself is really bad. And unfortunately, I have been experiencing even big banks here. They never see anything, just like sign here, that's it, sir. Like one bank, even without mentioning the name, they used to issue you the first card without name. You know, so you get the card instantly. You fill the application, just signature, passport copy or Emirates ID. You get your card straight away on spot. In 10 minutes, you want to have a name, you can replace it. But you can start using this card momentarily. You don't need to wait. So that's a big question mark. You know, what kind of due diligence? Where is the compliance here in this formula? Did they look? Was there any background check? Were there any blacklist check? What kind of checks you have? Yeah. So yeah, again, we need to rethink about controls. We need to again see where the loopholes are. That's why we always say we need to put a cap for every gap. There are gaps. We need to put a cap. We need to cap it. We need to close the gaps because this is where criminals are entering. Criminals, as I told you, they will not look for the strong controls and try to beat it. They will look for these gaps. Wherever there is an open window, nobody's looking at it, they will jump from the window. That's it. Very, very easy. But they will not come and challenge you with your strong controls. Okay, so that's what's happening in the insurance.
In the insurance, I think there is pre-lock period.
Yeah. The free look period, that's a period for the insurance company, as she mentioned, like for example, when you make a new policy, for example, that you cannot cancel it within a certain period. There could be a period also where both parties, they can amend and so on. So that's very much related to the insurance policies, to regulate a little bit, because now insurance companies even have compliance officers. But as I said, unfortunately, I don't know. I mean, is central bank regulating insurance companies? I don't think so. Yeah. So that's again because insurance company is a financial institution if they are offering investment-related insurance and if they are offering life insurance. So that's the financial services. So again, this is what I'm saying, that you're having financial institutions that are not regulated.
No, they are regulated by their regulator, and their regulators are also having the AML safety,
Yeah.
which is instructed from the FI.
Great, that's perfect. Yeah. So that because as I said, the criminal will always look whoever is offering financial services and without regulations. That's the best way to go. Why do I need to go to a regulated financial institution if I have none?
Like it's a period given to the customer.
That's right. That's right.
Check whether this is
Working with you or not, convenient to you, this is a product that you like or not. So that's a period where you can amend, cancel, do whatever. So they make use of that period.
I saw one indicator saying
Yeah.
that red flag that customers they will take the policy with 1 million.
Yeah.
And in this pre-look period,
They will cancel.
They will cancel.
Yeah, because if you pass this period, I think in the first 5 years, I would speak about myself with Alico, for example. In the first 5 years, if you cancel before the first 5 years, I think they take 50%. So that's a hefty charge. If you exceed 5%, you can cancel anytime. Nobody will, and the charges will be minimal. But if you pass that free lock period, you will pay a heavy fine, which is fine for the criminals. For money launderers, they don't care. Even if you charge me 50% to launder my money, I'm fine with that. But I'm talking about a normal customer. If you tell them, like, for example, if I pass the free lock period and tell him, for example, let's say your fund is $10,000, you will lose 5. You lose half of it. That's a big amount for them. Securities products, easy to trade globally. So, and you can do all kind of fraudulent schemes like commission-based compensation, pump and dump schemes, offsetting transactions. All this is kind of market manipulation. So, for example, I want to create a fake demand on the share. So I will buy heavily, and I'm a big investor. I have lots of money. I'll buy heavily. The share, I'll create a fake demand, so the share will go up. Once everybody buy, I will sell. The price will go down. The people will lose their money. There are other things that, you know, they buy heavily towards the closure of the day. So the closing price closes high. Once the market opens in the morning, they will sell heavily. Then the price will collapse. They can do offsetting transactions. So I can do a transaction and then cancel. So again, that gets recorded. So I create fake thing. I can spread rumors. So I can say that, well, this company is going to acquire a certain company and the share price is expected to increase, so everybody will go and buy. Because unfortunately, in our part of the world as well, we follow the herd approach, you know, the herd of cattle. I remember the first engagement in my career when I was with Arthur Andersen. when I was junior, I graduated yesterday. So they said, okay, the first engagement for you is that you're going to go and do a stock count. I said, okay. I was very lucky that my first stock count was counting cattle, khayfan. Okay, fine. I'm okay with that. So they gave me a timer, and I went there, and I found like sheep and cattle are running everywhere. I said, guys, how will you count that? They're running all directions. They said, no, wait. Then the guy, he went, he got them out. How did they get him out? He went and found the smallest one, the one that he can carry. He carried this one, and he threw her outside. The 10,000 went out behind her. I said, how? They said, it's like this. I said, okay, now how will we count? They said, no, wait. So he closed the gate with a chain to allow only one to pass. And he went to the same small one, and he threw it again inside from the gate. Then the 10,000 started to enter. I'm standing beside the gate. Everyone enters. I click. That's how it is, okay? During this period, if one of them hit the gate, you'll get like 10 hit the gate, 10 will die, same time. Because they always follow the first one. One day, so that's why I say that the most stupid animal, most stupid creature on earth is the sheep, not the donkey. Donkey is very smart, by the way, very smart, extremely smart. The sheep is the most stupid creature on earth, and I've done lots of researches on this, and I challenge anybody who will prove otherwise. There was also one newspaper ad a couple of years back that there was one shepherd in Turkey. So he was, taking the cattle above, on a mountain, and one of them slipped, fell down. He lost, 8,000 heads. They all jumped. Just because one slipped off the hill. 8,000 jump. So he lost 8,001 heads just because of this. So in stock exchange, unfortunately, there are people following this approach. So what do? Why are you buying? And I did this interviews. I said, why are you buying? They said, because everybody's buying. Why are you selling? Because everybody's selling. And I had this in Egypt when they were going and buying all the Egyptian people, 95 million, and going buying the shares of Egyptian Telecom. Egyptian Telecom at that time was going to be bankrupt. It was a governmental telecom company which was doing really bad and losses, and it's a matter of time to go bankrupt. And 95 million people going and buying the share of Egyptian Telecom. So the share price keeps on going up, although the company is achieving losses. So why the price is going up? Because of the demand. And when all of them lost their money, they started crying. And I asked one of them, why did you buy? Well, everybody's buying. I said, but that's not the answer. When you buy, you need to tell me, for example, I bought because the company had income. The company is acquiring another company. Yeah, I see the financial, but you are buying because everybody's buying. That's the herd approach. That's the cattle approach. Why did you jump? Because the sheep in front of me jumped. So I have to jump. Right?
That is pump and dump scheme.
Yeah, pump and dump. I'll pump, I'll inject money, then the share will go up, then dump it, it will fall, people will lose their money, of course. The big players are the ones who can do this. The small ones, if they pump and dump, nobody will see them even, because these are the ones who will pay the price, exactly, right? So this is all coming under market manipulation. Of course, the Securities and Commodities Authority, ESCA here in UAE, should regulate this. And I'm believing that they are doing a great effort to ensure that the market is stable and to prevent such fraudulent and market manipulation activities. So that's how securities is done.
Is securities hedges, hedge funding?
Hedge funds is one of the very high risk. The hedge fund itself, the concept is very good, by the way, because when you hedge, you can hedge your receivables, you can hedge anything. The hedging concept is you are managing the risk. Let's say, for example, you have receivables. These receivables, you are expecting to receive them, let's say, after 2 years, let's say. But when you receive them after 2 years, what is the value of the currency at that time? Maybe the currency will fall down. So let's say they owe you now $10,000, but you're expecting to get that $10,000 after 1 year. But after 1 year, maybe the dollar, like for example, what happened with the Egyptian pound. I transferred the Egyptian pound. Let's say it was in August 2016, it was 8.9. In November, 2 months later, it was 15. So just a couple of months, you lost half of your money. If you recall the Egyptian pound, 1 dirham was 2 Egyptian pounds. Now 1 dirham is almost 5.8. So you lost actually 2/3 of your wealth. So if, for example, I have receivables, let's say from August, that I'm supposed to receive it by December, and by the time I received it, it became 1/3 of what the value is. So I want to manage this risk, so I will hedge it. That means I will fix the exchange rate. No matter it will go up, go down, I'm going to get at that rate. That's the hedging idea. So they can hedge your receivables, they can hedge the shares. So you will manage the risk. If the price go up, you will lose. But if it go down, you are protected. So you will do your forecasting and see what is the market trend.
So when you expect that is highest, then you will fix it.
Fix it at that. Lock it at that price. Then after that, no matter, it goes up, it goes down, it's not your problem anymore. It's not your risk anymore. That's the concept of hedging. But the gatekeepers, they complicate it a lot. So for example, one of the cases that I have investigated in, let's say you have hedge fund 1. Okay? Who's the owners? Then you get under this. Hedge fund A, hedge fund B. No, color not clear? Sure. Okay. Good. Hedge fund C, hedge fund D, hedge fund Z. Okay? Okay, I still want to do my due diligence. Okay, let's take this one, hedge fund A. Hedge fund A1, A2, A3. Okay, let's take this one. Hedge fund A1A. Here you go. And you keep on drilling. As I said, you could have your grandchildren continue this exercise. When you reach that, you will find all what you're looking for is that you need to see somebody, some human being, some creature. When you reach there, they will tell you, but there's a small information. Sorry, we forgot to tell you about it. This guy is holding a bearer share. That's it. Bearer share. سهم الحامل. What kind of due diligence I can do? After 1 second, he can just hand it over to somebody else. That's it. And by the way, you just took one arm. How about the rest? You need to do all that for the rest. That's why I said it's a life-consuming exercise. They do it in a way to hide the UBO. What is the UBO? Ultimate beneficial owner. They use it for tax evasion. They use it for hiding terrorist funds, because if I want to finance terrorism, I don't want my name to be revealed. So I will put my money in such a complicated and complex structure. Nobody will reach. At the time I want to execute, I will hand over the share to somebody else. He is the one who is holding that share, and I will execute the deal. So lawyers, accountants, ESCA is regulating, but I'm saying who's doing it is mainly lawyers, accountants. They are the ones who create the gatekeepers themselves, the investment advisors. They are the one who create this very complicated and complex structures. So in a hedge fund, I'm telling you, it's near to impossible to know who's the ultimate beneficial owner. Near to impossible.
It's a very common problem with personal banking.
Yeah. So it's very complex. I mean, I myself failed. I couldn't do anything with that, because as I told you.
Also, investment banking, they will have this.
Yeah. So that's a very complicated, complex structure. As I said, these are the big players. These are the expert money launderers, not the small ones who will go get cash and come to the account.
Hiding beneficial owners.
Mainly, yes.
Other than that, these hedge funds can be do any other kind of.
Yeah, this funds is it's shares. They trade this share, so you have, like, for example, diversification. Also, the hedging, you can hedge different industries. Like, I will invest in telecom. So if telecom fell down or collapsed, then I'm having also in, for example, let's say in insurance and bonds and in different industries. So it's a pool, yes. It's a investment basket.
It's like a mutual fund.
Yeah, investment basket. Like a mutual fund, exactly. Yeah, so that's how it is. So that complication here itself, as I said, you cannot say that who's the beneficial owner of hedge fund 1, it's hedge fund A. No, I need to know who's the beneficial owner here as well. So you keep on drilling, and it's endless, because you could get, honestly, you could get 10,000 entities under this. So you need to find or to KYC 10,000 entities. And at the end, when you reach, they will tell you everybody's holding a bearer share.
But I think in mutual funds, it's like a share where banks will offer these mutual funds Like
Yeah.
you can 1,000 dirhams every month also you can put in that.
Yeah.
And like all that they will pull and they will. I think the initial stage only they have to do the diligence.
That's right. That's right.
But there are mutual funds which are open-ended.
Yeah, they are open-ended as well. So they can accept new investors and so on, and then you don't have a control here. And you need to maintain a continuous KYC because, as I said, these are bearer shares. So every minute, the UBOs can change.
Yeah.
So what's your control? They keep on changing. They keep on trading, buying and selling. So what's your controls to identify the UBOs? I'm telling you out of experience, I see it as near to impossible with such a structure because how can you do it? You need to leave everything. And you need just to wait every minute, who's the beneficial owner now? Who's the beneficial owner now? And you need to KYC that. It's an impossible job. Yeah, you cannot do it. I mean, it's very complicated. And that's why, as I said, when I was dealing with hedge funds, PwC is talking to me, the number one, the big four, McKinsey, legal firm. So you're talking about big players. They are doing such structures. So that's a very complicated one. NFBBs, non-financial business and professional, as we mentioned. So you have casinos, gold and precious metal dealers, real estate, gatekeepers, trade-based money laundering. So here you have RE, sorry for that, okay, RE, real estate. Okay, you have GCase, gatekeepers. And you have TBML, trade-based money laundering. Under that, you will get something called TPM, trade price manipulation. Okay. So, and we said under this category we have casinos, gold and precious metal dealers, real estate, gatekeepers, trade-based money laundering. Casinos or gambling businesses. The regulatory environment varies per jurisdiction. In the US, casinos are regulated. So they do have a compliance officer. They do have an MLRO. They do implement an AML monitoring system. And they are quite regulated. That's why, as I told you, a check from a casino in the US is a check from a respectable place. It's exactly the same as the check from a bank. So criminals can use the casinos by buying tokens, and they do minimal betting. Then they exchange the tokens back for check. They take the check, they deposit into the financial system, no questions asked. They can even complicate the matter further in that they exchange the tokens and they request the cashier to issue the check in a third party's name. A girlfriend, a boyfriend, they can state anything, and then it should be in a third party's name. So again, this is something that they can do. They do, it of course requires minimal, checking here, but of course, casinos should be having an AML programs, but of course, as compared to banks, you know that due diligence is completely lesser. Various forms of casinos. It can be physical, such as in Vegas, in Macau, etc. Or it can be online casinos, where many banks actually nowadays are blocking their credit cards to be used for online gambling and online casinos because of the risks involved. And also because it's actually mainly not because of money laundering for the first instance, it's mainly from a credit perspective. Because you are betting with a credit card, that means you are betting with the bank's money. So if you lose, you will not be able to pay back the banks. That's why many banks, they block their credit cards being used for internet casinos. Of course, Islamic banks, they block it because of violation to the Islamic Sharia. So each bank is having their own reason, but I doubt if any bank is blocking it for a money laundering perspective. I do doubt it a lot. But as I said, there are online platforms such as PokerStars.com. Track betting such as horse racing or dog tracks or camel racing. So all these are also considered ways of betting and gambling. It's a cash intensive for physical sites, of course. People operate in casinos with cash. So you give the cash, you get the tokens, you give the tokens, you take cash normally. Online gambling use credit card networks, online payment systems, etc. And of course here, it's a very easy gateway to launder money in a very easy way. So as I said, you buy the tokens, you do minimal betting, you exchange the tokens back for a check or a check in a third party. If the casino is an international casino, so I can buy the tokens in one branch, let's say in Vegas. Let's say if that casino has a branch in Egypt. So when I give back the tokens, I will ask them to credit my account. Then when I go to Egypt, I can get the tokens, and when I return them back, I can get a check in Egypt itself. So it can, again, operate as a fund transfer in a way, if you are dealing with an international casino with different branches all over the world. So again, the casinos is a very big gate for money launderers. Yes?
You just said it is a very easy gateway to money laundering.
Sure.
But at the same time, you said that casinos have, in the US maybe,
Yeah.
an AML CFTP.
That's right. They do have an AML system there. No, it's not like this. It's like, even insurance companies, they have an AML officer. But is the controls in the insurance company or the AML officer doing work as per the bank or as compared to the bank? It's lesser. They do have an AML officer. They do have an AML system, but the controls are relaxed, more relaxed. And due to the nature of the business as well, they can do a lot because you cannot stop people from betting or gambling. They come, they bring cash. Nobody will tell them where is the source of fund. They can do some profiling to see if there is an extreme thing, but anybody can come in and bet. Nobody will ask you for the source of funds in a casino. So they can use that, as I said, easily to buy tokens, go do minimal betting, come, and they can take a check, or they can issue a check in a third party's name, or they can credit their account and then withdraw this in a different international branch. So there are lots of ways you can play with casinos, and you can also launder huge amounts of money.
And
Yeah.
But I think one more indicator here, I think the nature of game, something
Yeah.
like A, B, something, it was mentioned in the...
That's right. Yeah, there are different kinds.
Can you explain us that, how that it happens, the game?
There are lots of ways. I'm not so much expert in casinos. I have my colleague who's expert in casinos, but I'm not so much expert in casinos. But they have different, of course, yes, as you mentioned, different, types of games.
Because
And
the participant, like the two participants, one has to lose, one has to win.
yeah, of course.
They both will be the same money launderer who are
Yeah,
both
they can lose to each other.
Yeah,
That's right.
something like this.
That's right, yeah. So there are lots of ways. I mean, if you look inside, also the devil is in the details, as we say. There are lots of ways they can do. So they can, as you mentioned, they can come and lose to each other. Because normally in the gambling thing, there is a winner, there is a loser. That's how it is. Of course, the house can never lose. That's the general rule. So that's how it is. But as I said, we don't want to go, for the sake of the exam, we're not going into details in the casino business.
I found it in the book itself. About
Yeah.
this indicator.
Yeah. Yeah, indicators are there, but they don't need to go deep in the casino operation. They will not go that deep for you, with you in the exam. So, but as I said, I mean, I gave you examples. The book will be providing other examples. We are providing examples, but you don't need to go deep in the casino operations. That's out of scope of the exam. So you don't need to go that deep.
So questions will not come from those things?
Whatever is in the book, that's fine. Whatever I'm saying also, that's fine. But they will not ask you something very technical in the casino. They don't ask you something very technical in the insurance. We don't expect you to be a technical casino expert or a technical insurance expert. But we want you to understand how these industries are prone to money laundering, like what can be done. But you don't need to go so technical. They will not ask you about what are the different insurance policies, reinsurance part, They will not go that deep in details.
No, actually in book course, if you see, they mentioned about two insurance. Insurance which are high risk,
Yeah.
insurance which are not so high risk.
Yeah.
Like life insurance premiums.
Yeah, because they are offering financial services.
But property insurance
Yeah.
and other insurance, I think.
That's right. Because insurance, I always ask, is insurance a financial institution or a DNFPB? And I would say 99% of the trainings, everybody give me the wrong answer. And insurance can be both. Can be a financial institution, and it can be also a DNFPB. It all depends on one factor. if the insurance company is issuing an investment-related insurance products, in this case, it's an FI. If it's not, it's not. So car insurance is not an FI. Fidelity insurance is not an FI. I would say any kind of property insurance is not an FI. Any insurance except the investment-related insurance is not an FI. Investment-related insurance, the best example is the life insurance because it has an investment arm. There is a fund. The normal insurance, when I insure my car at the end of the year, if you don't meet with an accident, you lost your money. Finished. You got the coverage only. But there's no fund. In the life insurance, it's not that way. There is a fund, and you monitor, and they ask you. At the beginning, they tell you what kind of investor you are. Are you an aggressive investor? Are you a conservative investor? Are you willing to take risks? They risk grade you because they need to invest your money as per your risk profile. So that's what exactly is happening if you go to a private banking or an investment banking, and they will ask you the same. And they normally grade you from 1 to 6, where 6 is the highest risk taker. And when you are classified as 6, they can offer you any product. But when you are classified as 3, there are certain products which they cannot offer for you because your risk awareness or your risk taking is low. So you must be aware of the risks, and you must be accepting the risk. Otherwise, they will give you something which is very low risk, like bonds and so on, which is not high risk. But they will not offer you the high risk products. The same thing happens in the insurance, the life insurance. They also risk grade you, and they know what's your risk appetite, your risk awareness, and they ask you, are you a conservative or aggressive investor, and so on. So there is a fund here, there is an investment arm. So that's why, that's what we need to know. But what are the different types of insurance policies? Detailed insurance is a big field. If you go into details and the treaties and the reinsurance, there are lots of laws and regulations for that. You don't need to go into that. But you need to know an insurance company, if it's offering investment-related insurance, that's an FI, and this is where the high risk is. Because you can do a single premium, and you can cancel, you will be entitled to a huge amount of funds, which you cannot do if you do, for example, a car insurance. How much you will claim back? 6,000, 7,000 dirhams? That's not what the criminals are looking for. But in life insurance, you can claim millions. Millions. You can launder millions just in one shot. Okay? We are talking now about...
No, MLROs are called MLROs in US also?
Yeah.
Or they have some other terminology?
No, MLRO is an MLRO, but in the US it's different from here, that they divide the AML function by function. So it's a functional role. So you don't find AML officer. You will find a KYC officer. You will find a sanctions officer. You will find an investigation officer. You will find, so they divide the whole AML role into sub-functions. KYC, investigation, monitoring officer, but sanctions officer. But you'll not find an AML officer who's doing all these functions together. So if you are a KYC officer, you do only KYC. If you are a sanctions officer, you do only sanctions. You don't care about anything else.
There is a BSA officer?
Bank Secrecy Act officer, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
MLROs are called as BSA officers, or they are different?
No, I mean, it depends. You can be an BSA and MLRO. MLRO is the one who is responsible for reporting to FinCEN. So if you have that role, then you are the MLRO. You got the point? But BSA officer is the one who is responsible for guidance in conjunction with or as per the BSA Act. So he's the one who's ensuring his financial institution is complying with the BSA laws and regulations. That's the BSA officer. He can have the reporting part, so he would be then an MLRO. So the MLRO is exclusive if you are the one who is responsible or representing your financial institution to be reporting to FinCEN. So the MLRO has the exclusive responsibility, and he's the sole decision maker when it comes to reporting or not reporting. That's why this role is a senior role actually, because the decision is exclusively for you. If the whole bank decided not to report, and your opinion is to report, then you must report, because you are the MLRO. If you didn't report, then you only will be responsible. Like what happened in MoneyGram. So in this case, for example, MLRO, he was responsible to report. He didn't. Then he got willful blindness charge. So so there, yes, they do have AML officers, but nobody is an AML officer only doing everything. They divide that by functional. So each officer is responsible for a certain function within the AML rule. Because there they are talking to so many regulators as compared to here. Here, if I'm an AML officer, I'm talking only to central bank, mainly. But there in the US, you're talking to many regulators. So if everybody told you hello, your day is gone. So they cannot talk to, let's say, 20 regulators, and all of them, they're asking you about all the functions. It would be impossible. But yes, I can talk to 20 regulators, but all of them asking me about KYC only. I can manage. Or about sanctions only. I can manage. But about everything, no, it's impossible. Yeah? Casinos, patrons may attempt to evade AML reporting or record-keeping requirements. Use the case solely for banking like financial services, minimal gaming activity without a reasonable explanation. So as I said, their main objective is not to do gaming or to bet. They just want to launder their money. So they do minimal betting. Whether they gain or lose, they don't care. The ultimate objective is I'm giving you cash, you're giving me a check. Or I'm giving you cash, you're giving me a check somewhere else in the world, or cash somewhere else in the world. If, for example, the casino has a branch in UAE, I can get cash. It's not an issue because cash here is acceptable. Why in the US they insist on getting check? Because cash is an issue. You cannot deposit cash into the financial system easily. So that's why they insist on getting a check. But if you are in a cash-based society, you can deposit cash in the US and then you withdraw cash somewhere else.
There is one more indicator, I think, that is called unusual gaming and transaction.
Yeah, yeah. There are.
There, I think they stressed about this betting.
Yeah.
The betting is happening.
Exactly. Same like when we talk about securities, and we said that there is a market manipulation when people buy and sell outside the norm. Like they are doing that to do laundering or to do fraudulent activity. Same thing here. The betting has a certain pattern. So if you operate outside that pattern or you do minimal betting or unusual betting, then in this case it's a red flag.
Because one of the questions they mentioned about this unusual betting activity,
Mm-hmm.
and they explained this scenario.
Yep.
And they asked the question on this one.
I see. Yeah. If you wish, we can take this as a case. We can take it as a case and discuss it together. We can do that. Okay. Real estate. Real estate is a popular medium through which criminals can filter their ill-gotten gains. I can always take the bank as a second step. I do not need to take the cash to the bank anymore. Nowadays, I do not need to do that. So what will I do? I take the first step. The first step can be a real estate. I'll go to a real estate broker. I'll buy with cash any villas or any property with a high value. Then I will sell it. And when I sell it, I will take a check. I will deposit the check if I'm in the US. In UAE, I can still take cash, and I have a proof of sale, and I can still deposit the cash into the financial system. That's what they do normally. And in real estate, it can absorb a huge amounts of money, especially if you see, for example, the prices of the villas here in UAE, Emirates Hills, in Al Barari. You get villas as expensive as 45, 50 million, that's easily. If I came and I paid that in cash, I mean, I don't think the seller will be not happy. He would be very happy to get his money on the table. And depending who's the seller may be a VIP guy who can manage depositing this cash without any question, but I can easily pay him cash, and I get my villa. A couple of days later, I will say, well, I don't like it. The sun is not entering well. The view is not so good. Anything. I want to sell it. Distressed sale, 30% below market price. It will just fly like this. I get cash. I go to the bank. I deposit. Where is the money from? Here is a proof of sale. Or if I want to play it extra safe, I'll get a check. If I'm sure that I can ask the guy to issue me a manager check. If I worry about check being bouncing, I can get a manager check. And I can deposit it neat and clean. I do not need to worry about cash. So, the real estate, you purchase it with cash, or and all cash transaction. There is no lending involved from a financial institution. I don't need to go for a mortgage or anything. The ultimate beneficial ownership can be disguised through shell companies. Yes, if I want to complicate further, who's the buyer? No, it's not Hussam. It's a shell company owned by Hussam, and maybe that shell company is also complex, so you do not even know how to reach the ultimate beneficial owner, because I can make that shell company owned by another shell company, and here you go, enjoy the ride. So if we want to complicate things, it's just a piece of cake. And normally shell companies and offshore companies are hard to find the beneficial owners, because these structures are done by expert lawyers who are actually the corrupted lawyers who are doing all these kind of things and opening the gate for criminals. So they can do a very good structure for you where they hide your identity as a UBO. The ultimate beneficial ownership can be disguised through shell companies. They can be utilized as an alternative to stock market investment for capital flight. If I want today to move my capital from the US because I don't want to pay money to the IRS, so I can use the real estate as a capital flight. So I mean, I'm moving my capital from the US to somewhere else where the IRS does not see me much. So this is something can be used. Gatekeepers may be used to facilitate the purchase and sale of transactions. So I do not need to worry about finding buyers and sellers. I'll just go to my lawyer. Look, you need to arrange for me a seller. You need to arrange for me a buyer. Here is the cash on the table. This is your share. Finish it off neat and clean. I don't even need to be appearing in the picture. I may not come to the picture at all. You know, the seller will sell to the lawyer, legal office, and he gets his cash. And the buyer also will buy from the lawyer. And the lawyer will ensure to get a manager check, and he will deposit a check in my name. I will not appear at all in the picture. So that can easily be done. Gatekeepers. So these following categories of professions, they are classified as gatekeepers, and you can see it in the exam. They call it GKs, gatekeepers. So notary public, اللي هو كاتب العدل, those who do attestations. You have lawyers, of course. Many money launderers are lawyers themselves. You have accountants, public accountants, CPAs, or auditors. You have investment advisors, and you have TCSPs, trust and company service providers. So again, another term, TCSPs. Okay? GKs I put. Here you go. Yeah. So TCSPs, or trust and company. حراس البوابات. حراس البوابات. Yeah. So gatekeepers, of course, they're not the security guards downstairs. No, they are the white-collar criminals. White-collar, those who do white-collar crimes. So in US, yeah, they have white-collar and they have blue-collar. The white-collar are those who use their mind in earning. The blue-collar are those who use their muscles, like the laborers. So the fraud is called the white-collar crime because fraud is mainly done by professionals like lawyers, accountants, bankers, investment advisors, those who wear white collars, and they use their mind to steal and to make money, right? So gatekeepers, the corrupted ones, of course, the corrupted gatekeepers, they provide advice to minimize suspicion. Advice to whom? To the criminals, to minimize the suspicion surrounding money laundering criminal activity. In UAE here, again, without mentioning names, big companies, big four, if you want to launder money, you go to them. They tell you, okay, we don't want papers, we don't want anything. Just give us half an hour. We'll put your money in a trading platform, and we'll give you your money back in a legal way. You can give it to you as a transfer in your account. Big four, without mentioning the name. Can you imagine? So they are providing an advice, how can you launder your money? So if you are connected, if you know the partner there, half an hour job, come with a suitcase full of cash, you go to him, he'll place it to you in a trading platform. He will issue a transfer to your account. So, that's it. So and they'll take the commission, of course. And that way, I legitimized your money. I gave you the papers that you're looking for, and it became legitimate. Of course, they charge 40%, 35%, and that's it. So help and be happy. You know, that's how it is. Yeah. And these are big four, where they should have ethics, integrity, all these kind of things. They are the ones helping the crooks. So this is how it goes. So as I said, the small people who are coming at the counter, these are the trainees. These are the people that we are catching. The big guys, you will not be able to catch because these people, they have connections. They use very advanced gateways like the trade-based money laundering, like trading platforms, like real estate. They are the ones who have huge amounts of cash and they can buy people and they can have their good connection. You cannot touch them. Even if you know this guy is laundering money, you don't have an evidence to go and suspect him or prove it. What will you do? I see that every day, and as I said, we stand handcuffed. We don't know what to do. We don't know. We see that happening, and you feel sad about it, but there is nothing can be done.
If you can't prove it?
If you prove it, try. Good luck. Right?
There is a ostrich. Seeing, but you're not taking it.
There is a herd of ostriches. Not only one ostrich. There are lots of ostriches. All of us are burying our head in the ground. Why? Because there's nothing you can do. What can you do? And I'm giving you examples. I don't want to mention names at all, but I'm telling you out of the market here. I'm not giving you any other example. But out of the local market here, this is the practices which are happening. So I see it really ridiculous, like thinking that money laundering is only those guys who are going to come at the counter with little bit extra cash. And nobody does this nowadays. Why do you need to do it?
That's a
very old school. Nobody does that nowadays. Who will come now with a bed sheet or a bag full of cash and will come and say, here I am. No, nobody will do that. I will just pass by, buy a car, sell a car same time. That's it, finished. If I go to Alawir now, I'll buy a car from every showroom. One car from every showroom. And the showroom himself, he will export it for me. That's it. I will not draw attention with any of them. I will not go to one showroom and tell them I want to buy 10 cars. No, just one car. And one car can be quite a good money. It depends what car you can buy. Rolls-Royce, Bugatti, Bentley. They will take cash happily. Happily. And they would offer a discount. You tell them, no, I don't want discount even. No, it's fine. Put the full price. Not an issue. Yeah, that's it. That's right. Many people who have this stored value cards, they go to the car showrooms, they empty the stored value card, they charge them 2.5%, which is Network International, whatever, and that's it. They take the car. While he takes the car, he doesn't take it. They tell him, okay, you go to that showroom, he will export it for you, so that it will not draw attention, because I cannot sell it and resell it for you. So he will call his friend. One guy is coming to you, just sell his car for you. He will take maybe 10% or something. Oh, fine, that's fine.
Similar to a very popular case that happened recently.
Yeah.
There's a car Ponzi scheme.
Yep.
It was very recently that a bunch of people from Abu Dhabi were arrested.
Yep.
Who were running a Ponzi scheme around automobile showrooms.
Yep.
And I think he's the best man to talk about it because he was actually handling the case.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It was very systematically done. The cars were bought and then they were sold, and obviously, the asset value of the car slightly depreciated, but at the same time, the money that was invested was obviously,
Yeah.
converted to money.
Of course. Yeah. So, all these schemes are happening. So, as I said, criminals are very innovative. They always look for ways of laundering their money. And they are smart. So, they play around the system. They see where the controls are. And they play around the controls. Something very funny, actually, and very sad at the same time. In Switzerland, I believe in 1 year, in the middle of the year, in July, they changed their AML law. They made it more stringent, more strong. And we've made a survey before and after. Before the strong law, the new law, and after the strong law. The results were astonishing. That after they stringent their law and became more tougher, the money laundering have doubled. Doubled. Why? When you closed one door, they looked for 1,000 other doors to open. So, and when they started looking for other doors, they abused the other means because they said, okay, till the time they take an action, let's enjoy. So the money laundering, the statistics, it doubled. So if let's say you had like 10 million money laundering or 10 billion money laundering, you had 20. Double. after the strong law. And that's why I always say, as a regulator, as advice, always don't focus only on banks. No, put your regulations across. If you focus only on banks and leave the other doors open, what will happen? If I now keep the door half open and I have a radar, I will monitor who's entering. But when I close the door and I have 10 other doors open or walls that are not even built, I don't know from which door they will enter. So I lost focus, I lost control, I lost my monitoring. That's why never close the door and lock it. Keep it always half open, but monitor. If you could monitor all the doors, that's good enough. But that's why I always see the AML role. One guy, he told me, like, can you explain to me the AML role in a funny way? I said, no worries. The AML officer is a person who is staying in a house that has 1,000 doors and 1,000 windows. And there are 1,000 kids running. Your job is not to allow a kid to go in or out. How will you do it? 1,000 kids running all directions. There is 1,000 doors open, 1,000 windows open, and you are all by yourself. You have to monitor all this. Yeah? So that's our role. It's a mission impossible as well.
Actually, the Switzerland, what you were saying, the Switzerland last title and those, it was, it is not only about the money laundering effect. The other side is the international pressures.
Yeah.
Especially the cooperation of Switzerland banks and authorities to the
Right.
international community.
Right. Right.
So that way, actually, they have benefited.
Yeah.
The other way,
They lost. They yeah.
but the international community has benefited.
That's right. True. True. Trade-based money laundering, the largest money laundering scheme. This is our main pain. This is where the crooks are. This is where the criminals are. Trade-based money laundering, as per the FATF, is the largest way of laundering money. Sure.
الكوبونز ورافلز for prices highway.
The raffles, that will come under betting as well. Like, yeah, gambling and betting, you know, so that will come under that umbrella.
يعني at the airport when you buy tickets for
Yeah, it's a gambling. You can win, you can lose. So it's a gambling. Yeah. Yeah, trading. So you're laundering money backed by the trade. So mainly you are using LCs, LGs, you know, to launder money. So what will happen here? I'll just give you some insights. Of course, I have gray hair from all the trade-based money laundering. I've been working in that a lot and trying to secure banks. But as I'm telling you, it's a near to impossible to stop trade-based money laundering with the current worldwide setup. There are lots of deficiencies.
For the example, come from this.
A lot will come from here, trade-based money laundering. Okay? So in trade-based money laundering, there are so many ways to launder money through the trade-based. I'm just going to tell you only 10 of them. Only 10 of them, but there's unlimited ways to launder money through the trade. You can do that by, as I mentioned here, TPM or trade price manipulation. You are manipulating the price. Under the TPM, there comes more than one, you know, TPM, trade price manipulation pattern.
Manipulation of the
Price.
of the price of the product.
Yeah. So you can do an overpricing or you can do an underpricing. In overpricing, let's say, we mentioned yesterday that criminals are not full-timers. They are part-timers. So let's say today I'm a drug dealer and my counterparty there, he is a weapons or arms dealer. We are both criminals. We cannot be full-time criminals, so I have a front business. He also has a front business. My front business here in UAE is construction company. His front business there in, let's say, in Pakistan is a cement factory. As a construction company, I need cement. So what will I do? I will come here to my bank. I will ask the bank to open an LC for me to import, let's say, 10,000 tons of cement, seawater cement. I'll provide all the documents. Of course, money launderers documents. That's the easiest thing that you can ask them. They would provide all the documents, attestations, everything perfect. Pro forma invoice, everything. And then they would provide also the invoice, the bill of lading, clearance of the customs, everything. Of course, one, depending on the shipment terms, if it's FOB shipping point, free on board shipping point, or FOB destination, or FOB, seller's warehouse. I mean, it depends on what the terms of the shipment. Once the goods reach to the place where the seller or the exporter is due to be paid, the buyer's bank or the importer's bank will pay to the exporter's bank. Okay, so let's say it's a FOB shipping, FOB destination. So once the goods reach to the destination, which is here in UAE, I'm the importer, my bank will pay to the exporter's bank as per the invoice. So the invoice is mentioned 10,000 tons of seawater cement, and let's say the ton is, let's say, $1,000. So 10,000 into 1,000, 10 million or 100 million, whatever. My bank will pay the exporter's bank 100 million. But in fact, I didn't import a seawater cement. I imported a normal cement, packed in a seawater cement packages. Seawater cement and normal cement, they look the same. No difference. You need to take them to the lab to do a chemical testing to know which is which. Everybody's happy. So the normal cement, the price per ton, let's say it's $100, whereas the seawater cement, the price per ton is $1,000. Okay, so 1,000 into 10,000 less 100 into 10,000. The difference is a value that has been moved from one country to another. And that's called, in this example, overpricing. So in overpricing, don't confuse yourself, because many people, they confuse themselves. When you say over or under, it's always the invoice. So if the value in the invoice is higher than the goods, that's overpricing. Don't look at it the other way around. Tell me the goods are higher, that's underpricing. So overpricing or underpricing is all related to the invoice. So you look at the invoice. Is the value of the invoice higher than the goods? That's overpricing. Is it lower than the goods? That's underpricing. Don't convert it other way around. So in overpricing, and there's tricky things here, because in the exam, they will tell you in overpricing, and they'll give you 4 options. The exporter is transferring value to the importer. The importer is transferring value to the exporter. No value is being transferred. Both importers and exporters are transferring value to each other. And here you go. So in overpricing, who is transferring value to who? The importer is transferring value to the exporter. Why? Because he's paying more for goods that worth less, because the invoice has a higher value. So the difference here is, in value, is moving from the importer, who's paying higher, to the exporter.